They say what goes around eventually circles back, and lately, in the royal world, it's circling fast. For ages, British media outlets have practically walked on eggshells around Prince William, portraying him as the steady heir, the dependable son, the future monarch who can do no wrong. But this week, the polished image cracked. And surprisingly, it wasn't Harry or Meghan or social media critics who pulled back the curtain. It was one of the royal establishment's own long-time defenders. Veteran columnist Amanda Platell, someone who has spent decades propping up the monarchy, published something so unfiltered that it left even royal loyalists stunned. Her message to William was blunt, almost brutal. Your people want one thing. Stop being so unaware and address it. Hearing that from her? That's the equivalent of a royal earthquake. And all of it began when Prince William skipped one of the most symbolic annual duties on the royal calendar, the Festival of Remembrance at the Royal Albert Hall. This wasn't some ordinary ceremony. This year marked 80 years since the end of World War II, a moment when the country pauses to honour sacrifice and remember service. King Charles, Queen Camilla, and the Princess of Wales were expected to appear in the royal box. Catherine couldn't attend due to her ongoing health recovery. But even with that, everyone assumed William would step in, stand tall, and hold the family's presence together. Instead, he was nowhere in sight. William was over 5,000 miles away in Brazil, delivering a speech at the COP30 climate event, an event critics have increasingly called a gathering for elites to give polished speeches without delivering real change. Platell didn't mince words. She called the summit a self-promoting talking shop, and she wasn't alone. International outlets pointed out the contradiction. William boarded a private jet to fly halfway around the globe, to talk about saving the environment. The irony practically wrote itself. But Platell went further than simply questioning his travel choice. She peeled back the larger pattern emerging around the heir. Why, she asked, does William appear more invested in photo-friendly moments, hugging children, posing on beaches, taking selfies, than in standing before the nation he's meant to lead? And honestly, she's voicing what many have noticed: the Earthshot Prize. William's flagship environmental initiative was supposed to define his legacy. It was framed as a bold vision, a modern approach to monarchy. But recently, it feels more like an ongoing PR assignment, lacking depth. Even royal correspondents have quietly admitted that the speeches are respectable but dull. They're polished, scripted, and technically correct, yet missing the emotional resonance of genuine leadership. Platell's sharpest line questioned whether anyone was actually moved by his speeches or captivated by the latest Earthshot broadcast. That stings coming from a writer who has spent years boosting him. This is where things shift. Because for decades, the British media pushed a simple narrative. William, responsible, composed, modern. Harry, impulsive, emotional, unpredictable. But that tidy storyline is falling apart. While the Waleses struggle to ignite excitement, the Sussexes, despite the press hostility, keep producing meaningful work with real-world impact. From Invictus to mental health projects to community-driven storytelling, Meghan and Harry are showing what purpose-driven leadership looks like. And you can almost sense the discomfort in the establishment. Platell unintentionally highlighted this comparison. When William disappears, Harry steps up. When William avoids key events, Harry honours them even from abroad. When William delivers careful corporate-style speeches, Harry communicates with vulnerability and sincerity. Think back to when Meghan and Harry participated in remembrance events in the US. Their message wasn't wrapped in royal formality. It was heartfelt, grounded, human. They spoke like people who understand service, not simply symbolize it. William's absence this year, meanwhile, whispered a much different message. Platel invoked Queen Elizabeth II's iconic wisdom. I have to be seen to be believed. But William seems convinced that visibility through global conferences and social media-friendly engagements is enough. It isn't. And even the monarchy's staunchest supporters are starting to say so. Then comes the part that truly shook people. Royal author Robert Jobson recently revealed that William told King Charles he wanted to dial his royal workload down to 10 engagements for the rest of the year. Yes, 10. King Charles, who is undergoing treatment for cancer, reportedly urged him to reconsider. That detail floored the public, because for years the narrative has been that Harry and Meghan abandoned royal duties, while William was the unwavering pillar of responsibility. Now, that story has flipped. Platel did acknowledge that William faces tremendous pressure, loss, responsibility, a spouse recovering from illness, but she also pointed out that leadership isn't about convenience. It's about resolve. And right now, William appears to be stepping back rather than stepping up. Her column delivered the most establishment-approved warning yet. If the future king shrinks from duty, what does that mean for the monarchy? It was a stunning admission from someone who has never been known to offer Meghan or Harry the benefit of the doubt. She even quoted Queen Elizabeth again. When life seems hard, the brave do not give in. These weren't meant as sentimental lines. They were guidance, duty above discomfort, presence over excuses. Is William following that example? Platel doesn't think so, and she's not alone. The Queen rarely vanished from public view, not during the wars, crises, scandals, or personal tragedies. William, however, seems to vanish whenever the optics aren't favourable. He missed Easter. Now, remembrance. And the press, once eager to shield him, has begun to raise eyebrows. For years, Sussex supporters said William was given a pass. Now, the press is finally echoing that sentiment. And this is where the story takes a turn that must unsettle the palace. Platel's piece reflects a shift, a real one, not imagined. Journalists who once protected William's image at all costs are now openly questioning it. The public has grown more aware, more critical, less willing to accept PR narratives at face value. People notice the double standards. They see Harry and Meghan demonstrating sincerity and empathy. They see William giving carefully orchestrated appearances that feel detached from everyday life. This contrast is no longer subtle. It's glaring. Platel may have intended to push William toward improvement, but her column functions more as the first falling domino in what could be a major shift within royal commentary. Accountability, real accountability, is creeping into royal reporting. The same media machine that bolstered William's myth is beginning to question it. And that is what makes this moment historic. When a long-time royal defender starts saying, "William, wake up," you know the tide is turning. Unintentionally, she joined the chorus Meghan and Harry have been part of for years, urging the monarchy to reconnect, evolve, and show genuine leadership rather than rely on polished press releases and curated appearances. And here's the twist. While William's PR struggles play out publicly, Meghan and Harry's authenticity continues to grow stronger. Their life in California isn't built on pomp. It's built on compassion, service, advocacy, and storytelling with substance. And people feel that difference. They advocate for mental health, they champion veterans, they speak openly about healing and resilience. And they've done it while absorbing relentless criticism from the UK media. Yet through all that, they never abandoned their values or their dignity. And now, ironically, the media that once targeted them is turning its scrutiny toward the palace itself. That's poetic justice, if I've ever seen it. Because no matter how long it takes, the truth eventually settles. And right now, the truth looks like this. William's once flawless image is losing its shine, while Meghan and Harry's integrity is resonating more strongly than ever. Platel didn't intend to dismantle William's credibility. She was trying to warn him. She was saying, essentially, your people want presence, not excuses. But whether William will change course, that's uncertain. The Windsors don't have a history of absorbing warnings well. They ignored the red flags during Diana's time. They dismissed concerns during Meghan and Harry's struggles. And now they may be underestimating the public's shifting perception of William. As one viewer commented recently, and this comment went viral, "You can't claim to serve the people when you're barely visible to them." And that, right there, sums up the entire dilemma. As the dust settles around Platel's fiery opinion piece, one thing stands out clearly. The royal media bubble is no longer airtight. Cracks are forming, voices once loyal are becoming sceptical, and the public is noticing the shift. William may hold the title, but Harry and Meghan hold something titles can't guarantee: credibility, authenticity, purpose. And in the bigger picture, history tends to remember those qualities more than ceremonial roles. So now the question becomes, will William adapt? Or will he double down on the same distant, polished approach that no longer resonates? Because this moment right now is a crossroads for the monarchy. A moment they can't afford to ignore. If you're still watching, thank you for staying with me. Now, tell me, do you think Prince William is losing the public's goodwill? Or is this simply the start of a much bigger reckoning for the entire royal institution? Drop your thoughts below. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay bright, and above all, stay real.